Japanese hello, everybody. An inauspicious start because I have one of the best throat infections you've ever seen, but I've been told to go ahead anyway. Before we begin on this pathologically optimistic endeavor, however, it's important to remember that there are two main themes in horror. The first being, you don't want to go down that road. That road's cursed. An ominous portent ignored by our idiotically naive but plot-propelling archetypes. Screw you, old man, there's treasure in them there cursed roads. And the second is, the real monster was blank all along. The creatures and horrors were really just manifestations of alcoholism, consumerism, those colored people breeding with our white women. In Beyond the Underwater Skies, the real monster was a total absence of monsters despite the perfectly accommodating location. And the cursed road was my Steam library. Now, let's find out how long it takes for us to dual-wield some underwater mining equipment, I expect. What? Oh, God, no. We're not gonna be able to dual-wield anything. Except maybe eyebrows in the mirror. We play as Stan. It's not his birthday. He makes no references to sport. He dislikes rock and roll music. And if he didn't have a dead daughter, that'd be the sum total of his character. The fact that we learn his tragic backstory, it's taken him 3 years to not get over the car crash enthusiasm of his daughter, in the first act of the game might lead you to believe there's more revelations to come. Our main correspondent and indeed employer is your dad's friend, sympathetic ear, Tim, and also this weak attempt at Verhoeven satire.
Unions are bad for you, and bad for your friends.
Mercifully, his dialogue is optional, as is the volume of the music. What the fuck? After a remarkably dull and clunky tutorial that really sets the tone, we make it to the box we're definitely gonna die in. At this point, two things become apparent. That film grain isn't going away, and it is the fuck-off distant future. But for some reason, crude oil has been heavily invested in, despite the fact that all major petroleum companies are desperately trying to find viable alternatives right now. Chevron are trying to see if plant oil is the future. Anyway, we make it to the set we're gonna be spending the most time in and get our first taste of incomplete dialogue.
It's, this is all... Hey.
So this is it. The barely interactive space you'll be denying your psychosis in. It's not bad. It's not great. It's orange. There's a fridge we'll never be able to open, plants we don't ever take care of, and a storage room that I forgot was there. Time to call our wife or something.
I made it down okay. I know I didn't, what we said before I left. You said you needed space, right? And I needed space, so yeah, this is space.
I'm just so estranged and otherwise distant from you and our relationship, which is why I'm under the fucking ocean. Well, I gotta go. I gotta go have a visually compelling nightmare, the meaning of which will be obvious and superficial, but I'll still be confused.
What's that? Why is this here?
Well, that's enough of that. First ingredient in the morning of a winner is dual-wielding eyebrows. Now, obviously, in order to get really immersed, we have to perform menial tasks. So it's time to shotgun some coffee, consume some media, and then take an underwater spacewalk to the nearest submarine, and then fix shit. Wow, Tim, it feels great to be back in action. I have missed garbage collecting for a faceless corporation. And finally, I'm back in contact with my dad's old whaling buddy. How are you doing, Tim?
I'm a figment of your imagination, Stan. Why, you've never even seen the ocean. Right now, you're freaking out at a YMCA.
Oh, that's bad news. I'm reasonably certain I signed a contract.
Nope. Now remember to check in frequently for exposition.
Thanks, Tim. I'll remember to do that. Now, should I hit the bong? And so that's how things proceed. Morning ablutions, deep sea oil rig maintenance, Tim saying boomer shit.
Good old days.
Meet a seal, return to base, have a nightmare. So, you are slowly, painfully slowly, succumbing to ocean madness or literal phantasms. Tim, I've been seeing shit.
No, you haven't.
Oh, thank God. I thought I was gonna have to talk about it.
That seal sure is cute, isn't he?
He sure is, Tim. You know, my favorite thing about him is that he will never die. But then...
Oh, hey, whoa. Whoa, shit! Got a runaway container. I'm following it down into the rift. What is? Tim, there's... Damn thing. How did this get here? I mean, this cave is far too...
And we've suddenly been promoted to Tomb Raider. I'm in.
Amazing this stuff still works after, what, 30 years on the bottom?
Oh, it's the 70s. It's the fuck-off distant future of 1975, of course. Tim, I'm seeing a jellyfish manifestation of my ghost daughter. Should I hit the bong?
Good news, Stan. Seems like you've already hit the bong. Are you seeing the titles manifest about you?
I am, Tim. It's like I can touch them. I'm freaking out.
Hi. Hi.
Hi. How have you been?
Yeah, is everything...
Sorry.
No. Go on.
I missed your... I was out on assignment when you called and...
Uh-huh. It's fine.
I wasn't...
No, really, it's fine. It's fine.
See how it sounds like they've been apart for a while? Their conversation is stilted not only by the delay, which never comes up again, but by their own discomfort and unfamiliarity with each other. Just remember that. It's going to be important come a revelation towards the end of the game.
This isn't healthy. It's been 3 years.
Now look, I've never lost a daughter, or demonstrably within the court of law killed one, but even I know isolating myself at the bottom of the ocean after not being able to work through my grief for the last 3 fucking years is not gonna help me not think about it.
You're not the only one who's suffering. But we can't live there anymore. Back there. I need you with me here. Now.
There you go. That's the whole story. It takes him the entirety of the game to learn that lesson. This is not foreshadowing. This is tautology. How dare you?
But I told you, I still need time.
Time to what, Stan?
Speed of light. I'm raging on around, even now you can feel the...
Fuck! Time for another scheduled nightmare.
What are you? Hey, come back. Pearl. My Pearl.
I too will name my daughter after a thing that is relevant to the setting of my video game. She will be called James Rolfe.
Tim. Come in, Tim.
I can't talk right now. I'm making piss.
But what's this now?
We're seeing signs of what is potentially the worst storm in recent history.
Well, I'd better get out there and barely interact with the lovingly crafted world around me.
Should hold.
But then actually...
New task. The brass don't want the storm to affect the bottom line, but regulations mean we can't run the refinery in hazardous conditions. So, we're upping the extraction rate until the storm really hits. Maximum output.
Gosh, this corporate greed sure is deplorable. I wonder if it'll come up again.
So much trash. What the hell did they do to this place? More rubbish. Left here by Unitrench. I'm undoing this, Tim. They can fire me or sue me or do whatever they want, but I'm not dying underwater covered in someone else's windfall. No. Ah!
Save me, ghost jellyfish daughter!
What is this place?
It's his home. There's clearly pictures of his family on the wall. What is the writer trying to tell us with this dialogue? Brain damage? Drink Pepsi? Dialogue is hard? Anyway, this whole PTSD manifestation has so distressed Stan that he must now shower. Not in his diving suit, obviously. That'd be stupid. Also, the refinery explodes or whatever because corporate greed or something.
And it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Our forecast is now another week of hurricane winds and typhoon rain, so now would be a very good time to dust off the old wellies.
Either a huge oil leak just off the coast doesn't make the news anymore, or someone's kept it under wraps. Let's see how long that lasts.
But then said storm knocks out the power. And then you fix it. Fire.
It's worse than anyone thought. Something broke loose. Long story short, there's a fire up here that's stubbornly refusing to go out.
Should I hit the bong? So now we have to manually take the drills offline because...
We fought, and we lost. Unitrench was always going to take over these waters, but there were those of us who thought we could limit the damage from the inside. And you're here because you're lost, Stan. Have been ever since Pearl. It's okay. It is. I wanted to help, you know. Any way I could. And Now there's this damn mess.
This is Katana. She's got my back. I would advise not getting killed by her. Her sword traps the souls of its victims.
And now, it's Fern Gully.
If any of the lines on that rig rupture, well, that's it for every living thing in these waters.
Only instead of the charismatic Hexus summon up the entirety of the tedious game's themes through song, we just get the entirety of the game and no song. Even the irritating jerk protagonists of Fern Gully had more going on than our pontificating sad sack. Sing Weller Man!
This is insane. This can't be. God damn it! Garage is further down. If this stuff is real, if I'm not having some sort of mental breakdown,
then I'm going to need... We're just gonna scare off the nebulous nightmare creatures like our ancestors, with fire on a stick. And then finally we've reached the drone bay or whatever, and it's time to individually activate all of them. I'm so immersed. Alright, now it's time to shut down the drills for real.
sucking the place dry. Like a bloody vampire. Come on. I've got a monster to kill.
Aha! The real monster was fracking all along. A lesson I learned in 1992.
Toxic love.
Fission mailed. Now it's time to think out loud.
Those jellyfish. Look. They're just floating nervous systems. Are they conscious?
Probably not.
Alive?
Yes.
Not in any way I can understand. So, how are you different to them?
Because most people with a grade school education know what alive means.
Were those voices the same? Loneliness. Manifested. Pearl. My own mind.
Squid! I'm gonna get you, Squid! Come here!
Stellar work, Stan. The fire's still eating through the stored fuel up on the rig, but you've cut off its food supply. The ecosystem in this area owes you a lifetime debt, lad.
But anyway, we're not done declaring the tangible nature of the obvious delusions.
I'm not crazy. I saw her. I touched her. She saved my life down there.
Listen to yourself, please. Pearl is dead, Stan.
I'm not crazy. I'm not. This is real.
Yeah, it's them who are dumb with their 18% oxygenated air.
I feel the air on my face.
That's just the filter in your helmet. You're wearing a helmet.
Pearl. Hey there.
Look at this ADHD kid. Can't focus on anything or keep a stable frame rate, typical. The whale is symbolic of James Cameron's shadow over this entire genre. And then we wake up to discover the media is complicit or stupid. Big oil wins again.
According to the Unitrend spokesman, the fire is well under control, and any wildlife impacted are being monitored by dedicated specialists. Indeed, from the shore here, there's little trace of any accident at all. The seas are calm, and everything seems shipshape and above board. Back to you in the studio.
Looks like the PR team are doing just fine without me. Impacted wildlife. Shit. I hope Joe's alright. If people knew about this. The leaks, the accidents, the spills. The amount of money they must spend on the brand. On creating a pleasant face for the world. It'd all collapse.
Would it?
This is the story of the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, the largest marine oil spill in world history.
While we're here, we might as well learn about some of the native fauna, such as the no-clip shark.
Dude in his damn Tesla. Yo, bro, you can't park here. Seriously, you gotta skedaddle. You want me to call? didn't realize you were chill like that. Alright, you're good.
And of course, the dead contrivance seal.
Joe.
And we are powerless to escape the parallels or whatever between the dead seal and the dead kid. The swing symbolized the power of metaphor.
Roger called me a name.
A name?
He said I was a...
Fucking secretary, fuck you!
I think I get it. Your daughter is oil now. The company is killing children for profit. Big pharma. Anyways, back to the base to ponder sadly.
I should call Emma.
Then it's time for our scheduled nightmare.
Well? What are you doing here?
What are you doing in the only place I've ever seen you? You know what? I'm going to explain the concept of death to you now.
You mean your goldfish? Well... John Paul died, Pearl. Yeah. We all die. It's all a big circle.
Circle?
Yeah. Everything dies. And when it does, it goes back into the earth and helps make new life.
The next morning, we receive an SOS from not Tim. This is most irregular. What has Tim got to say about this?
We took some casualties.
Well, I'm out. I actually surfaced twice by accident and then had to load a save because I could not figure out how to dive again. I don't know what that soft lock is about. I assume it's a metaphor for non-binary oppression. Anyway, turns out the Faceless Company has pulled a standard bad guy move and killed its own people to keep quiet the extent of its incompetence. But because it is incompetent, that information is well within the compass of seemingly completely unqualified protagonist. Don't even know what his actual job is, but he might have only done it once during his entire stay. And now that we've uncovered the conspiracy, it's time to fight the final boss.
This is the last round. Fight! Fantastic combo! What power! Incredible! I can't believe it!
Boss defeated, it's time to win back the girl. Emma, I punched a whale shark. Our daughter is a ghost jellyfish. I am unprepared for further revelation.
I'm pregnant!
NANI? There's a lot of contrivance in this game. You know, ghost jellyfish incapable of articulating its experiences, seal that gets fridged. But this one is a little hard to suffer. You didn't want him to come down here. You didn't want him to stay down here. He's demonstrated trauma and susceptibility to psychosis. It's been over 2 fucking weeks, and now you think, yeah, maybe I'll bring that up. Obfuscating for the purposes of drama in the form of spousal abuse now. And what's Protag's reaction? That's great. I have so many more car crashes in me. But now I've got to go have a Lovecraftian spirit journey to round out this otherwise grounded adventure. Tim, should I hit the bong?
What?
No, not again. What the fuck? Well, the giant squid or whatever leaves us flotsam in a sinister cave. There's an old life module here, like the one we've been staying in, which was previously occupied by our dad, maybe. We then discover the cave is occupied by inanimate stone titans, and I don't know what the fuck any of this symbolizes.
Because it's cool.
Whale graveyard. This one at least I comprehend. The circle of life. Entire ecosystems are formed around whale carcasses. Death make life. Just like oil. The company was good all along. I'm hitting the bong, Tim. And then we teleport back to the warp room. Time to put this trauma to bed. See what I did there? By reading it one of the most fucked up stories any child has ever been subjected to.
On the beach, where many corpses lie, whales in decomposition, skin dry.
Then we abandon this horrible personification of grief at the bottom of the ocean, and then it's time to fade out on a very long-winded, puerile speech about accepting death.
But no one ever really leaves.
Even though I can tell they really wanted to go out like this. So, The real monster was an underused metaphor. The drilling seems more of a coincidence than a poignant expression of human grief. You know, not dealing with the death of your child 3 years after the fact is not healthy for you. And another thing, oiling is not healthy for the planet. I did it better than they did in the space of a sentence. But it's not difficult to do that, the writing is very, very bad. The whole point of the story requires you to be a child who has just lost their goldfish, and whose concept of death has never once been influenced by any other fiction. Have you seen Ferngully? Have you seen The Lion King? Have you heard of Christianity? And yet it has the gall to tantalize us in the final act of all places with eldritch phenomena and a giant squid. All the time it's spent trying to tell me where the planet is and you can be one too could have been peppered with alien architecture instead of vague psychosis-induced sets I can't interact with. A house underwater? How absurd. I'll never recover from this juxtaposition. Car crashes are like drowning or something. So it ain't exactly meeting Durandal at the end of time and having him accuse you of being Destiny 2 pre-order DLC, but it was never going to be that, and I slowly became aware of that while playing what they're calling a game. But silly me, I've forgotten to include all the necessary puns because I'm a worthless hack. Let's just grab this first paragraph from Games Radar. A deep dive into an emotionally resonant, thematically intriguing, and visually striking abyss. Under the waves' waters are choppy at times, but there's pearls to be found amidst the turbulence of its enthralling ocean. There's a fucking film grain on everything. What? Crude oil is bad for you, but I've been chugging a half-liter a day!
Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tongue is done, we'll take our leave and go.